in any of the Apex tags. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah. So today we'll start with the standard list controller. So in the standard controller, we have two types of controller. One is standard controller, another one is custom controller, right? So in the standard controller, we have another option called standard list controller. So what we have done so far with the standard controller, using the standard controller, okay, we use the standard controller of each object like account, case or opportunity, and we have developed input forms to take the input from the user, and we also shown the output of a single record, right, by providing the ID in the page parameters, right? So here we have another option called standard list controllers, okay, which standard list controllers allow you to create a Visualforce pages that can display or act on set of records. Okay, so far using the standard controller, we shown only one record by just providing the ID of that particular record, right? Only one record we displayed. But using the standard list controller, we can display a set of records. We can display set of records. Okay, this is a beauty of standard list controller. So similar, like we have the existing existing pages like list pages, related lists, mass action pages. Similar to this, we can develop a VF page to show set of records using the standard list controller. So what is list pages, related lists? Here we can see. For example, if we go to any account, oh, I'm sorry. Can you see my screen now? Okay. So if you go to any account, you can see the list of contacts. Okay. These are a set of contacts you can see. Okay. Many contacts under a particular account. Okay. This kind of view. Okay. A set of or a list of contacts. You can you can display using standard list controller, or you can display a kind of view like, I'll just go to accounts tab, click go. When you click go, it is displaying you a list of accounts. So that kind of displaying a set of records, these kind of view you can develop in VF page using standard list controller. Okay, here the standard list controllers. It will allow you to create the VF pages that can display or act on a set of records. That can display set of records. Okay, so here you are showing the set of records in the list view. Here you can do some action. Okay, you can edit here itself. So these kind of actions also you can do in that VF page, which is developed using the standard list controller. Okay, is this clear? Standard list controller. Why we use the standard list controller? To display a set of records. Okay, by using the standard controller, we used to display a input form or a single record by passing the ID. But using the standard list controller, we are going to display list of records, nothing but set of records at one place. And on the records, we can perform some actions like edit, delete on all of the records. At a time, we can perform the actions. Edit, delete, cancel, save, something. Okay. This is the standard list controller. So in this standard list controller, we use the different tags. Okay. There in the standard controller, we use like input field, input text, output field, output label, that kind of tags, right? So here also we can use them, and we can also use different tags to display set of records. To display set of records, we need a tag, right? Apex tag. So these standard list controllers can be used with these following objects: account, asset, campaign, case, contact, contract, idea, lead, opportunity, order, product to, solution, user. Okay, these are the standard objects on which we can use the standard list controller, and also on all the custom objects which are created by you. Okay, all the custom objects which you create in the organization. For all the custom objects and these mentioned standard objects, you can use the standard list controller. Okay, so how do you append the standard list controller to a page? How do you append standard list controller to a page? How do you append the standard controller to a page? By writing the standard controller, right? By writing the standard controller in the page, and in the standard controller we provide the object name, object API name. Okay, so to append the standard list controller, you need to there is another attribute, that is record set var. By setting the record set var attribute in the page, in the Apex page component itself, you need to set the record set var attribute. Okay, so in this record set var, that means set of records and a variable. Var is nothing but a variable. Set of records storing in a variable. So you need to give the name of that variable, right? So you can give the name of that variable accounts or something, anything you can give the name, but you need to set the record set var. Okay, set of records storing in a variable, and that variable name is, which is this one, which you are going to give. Okay, see, the record set var attribute not only indicates that the page uses a list controller, it sets the variable name of the record collection. Okay, here set of records means collection of records, right? Collection of records. Okay, so these variable can be used to access the data in the record collection. Okay, using this variable will display the set of records, will display the collected records. Okay, will display the record collection using this variable, because in this variable only we are storing the set of records. Record set var variable, in this variable only we are storing the set of records. So that's why we use this variable to display the set of records. Okay, this is the syntax you need to remember. Record set var, when you see the record set var, that means you are using standard list controller in that VF page. So here you stored all the set of records in a variable, but you need a tag. You need a tag to display that set of records, right? So what are the tags available to display that set of records? We'll see now. Apex page block table. So what is a table? Tell me. It will be having a rows and columns. The data is displayed there in the rows and columns. We can display many data in many rows and columns, right, in the table. So here we have a tag called Apex page block table, okay, which we can include inside a page block or inside a page block section, directly inside a page block or inside a page block section. Okay, so these page blocks table is defined by iterating over a set of data, iterating over a set of data. So the record set where we stored our set of records we stored in the accounts. These accounts we need to give to the Apex page block table. We need to pass that variable wherever we are storing the set of records. We are storing in some particular variable. That variable we need to pass to this table. Then this table will show the data, the set of data in rows and columns. Okay. See, like Apex page block table is defined by iterating over a set of data, displaying information about one item of data per row. Okay, and the set of data can contain up to 1000 items only. This is a limitation you need to remember. Okay, Apex page block table can display up to 1000 items only. So if it is more than 1000, what to do? So that we'll see in the coming session. So first you need to remember the Apex page block table. Okay, table. You need to remember table. That means it is going to display set of records. Now we have another tag called Apex column. Okay, this is a single column table. Apex column means it will display only a single column table. Okay, so here Apex column component must be always a child of data table or page block table. In the table only we will be having the columns, right? That's why inside this page block table or data table tags we need to use this Apex column. Okay, so how do we use like Apex page block table and column together? We'll see in this example. Okay, we have a standard controller lead. Okay, and standard list controller record set where we took leads. This is a variable name. Okay, next we open Apex page block title columns. We gave some title and Apex page block table. Okay, so directly inside the page block we didn't took the Apex page block section, right? Only directly inside the page block we took the page block table. Apex page block table value. So to this table we need to pass the value. What value we need to pass? We need to pass our variable, right? Variable where we are storing the set of records. That variable value we need to pass to the page block table. So what is our variable value? Leads. So that leads we are passing to page block table value leads. And here you need to define a variable for page block table again. Okay, for page block table you need to define where nothing but variable. Okay, you can give any name. Okay, a lead, this is lead, that's why I gave LE. You can give any name, X, Y, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, you can give any name. Okay, this is a variable name. So using this variable name, now here the set of leads are stored. Okay, the set of leads are stored in this value, leads. Okay, and these leads can be accessed using this variable. Okay, that's why I'm using Apex column value. LE.name, that means lead.name, lead.phone, lead.company, lead.status, lead.email. Okay, here you will be having many leads, right? Set of leads. Okay, these set of leads are going to display in this table in these columns. Okay, we'll see this now. I'll go to setup. Develop. Visualforce pages. Click new. Okay, quick save. Click preview. See here columns. This is your page block. Inside this page block, you have this list of leads. Okay, did you pass any ID here? No. Okay, it stored the list of leads, the leads available in your lead object. It stored that leads in your record set var, this variable. Okay, because we are using standard list controller. So it's stored in this leads variable. This leads variable we passed to page block table. Okay, so in this page block table we use the columns to display the name, phone number, company status, email of the lead object. Okay, if we have more leads, it will display all the leads. See here, I will display the list of leads available in your lead object. Okay, the leads available in your lead object, it displayed. Okay, and this is a column. Okay, and for each column we gave the name, we gave the headers, name, phone, company. These are the field names, right? Column value, name. So it took the column header name directly from the field itself. Did we provided any separate value? No. It directly, when we say column, it will directly take the value, label and value from the object itself. The label is automatically taken from the object. Okay, are you getting this? Or any doubts? See here, email means it is showing the link, hyperlink. Because the column is pointing to field in the object. The column is pointing to field in the lead object. This column. Lead. Because we use the standard controller lead. So when we use the column, then it is pointing to the field in this lead object. And it will get the same format, styling, everything. Okay. Is this clear? Record set var.
Yes, Neha, it is clear.
Okay, so any doubts in the standard list controller? You understand, right?
Yes, I understood.
Okay, so here the thing is you need to give a variable. Okay, you need to set a variable to your page block table again. Okay, and you have to use this variable to display the fields. This is very important. Okay, so this variable you are passing to the page block table, and after that you need to set the variable to page block table. Okay, using that variable you need to display the fields. Because why we are using the variable here? Because there are many records, not single record, right? So for first record, the variable will take the first record and it gets its name, phone, company status, email. The second record comes. Similarly, now I created a new record, right? So second record comes. When the second record comes, it will take the name, phone, email, company status, email. This variable stores them. When third record comes, this variable stores the third record name, phone, company status, email, and it will display here. Is it confusing? The variable which you declared for the page block table, this is
No,
to
no,
this variable
no.
is to store. See, I'll say in Telugu. Okay, ఇక్కడ లీడ్స్ అంటే ఒక 10 ఉంటాయి. ఓకే,
Okay.
ఇక్కడ 10కి ఒకటేసారి డిస్ప్లే చేయాలి అంటే 10 ఒకటేసారి రావు, ఒక్కొక్కటి వస్తుంది అనమాట. కోడింగ్ లో బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో ఎలా జరుగుతుంది అంటే, మీరు విజువలైజ్ చేసుకోండి నేను చెప్పేటప్పుడు. బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో ఎలా అంటే, ఒక 100 రికార్డ్స్ ఉంటే ఫస్ట్ ఒక రికార్డ్ వెళ్తుంది. ఆ రికార్డ్స్ ఈ వేరియబుల్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, ఈ వేరియబుల్లో ఆ రికార్డ్ మనం ఏ ఫీల్డ్స్ తెచ్చుకుంటున్నాం, నేమ్, ఫోన్, కంపెనీ స్టేటస్, ఈమెయిల్, ఈ ఫీల్డ్స్ అన్ని ఈ వేరియబుల్లో స్టోర్ అవుతాయి. ఫస్ట్ రికార్డ్వి అది డిస్ప్లే అయిపోతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ రికార్డ్ వెళ్తుంది. సో నెక్స్ట్ రికార్డ్ అనేది కూడా ఒక దగ్గర స్టోర్ అవ్వాలి కదా, ఇక్కడ వేరియబుల్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. సో మళ్ళీ ఇవి డిస్ప్లే అయిపోతాయి అలా. సో ఈచ్ రికార్డ్ there should be some memory to hold it, right? There should be some memory to hold. So ఆ మెమరీ ఏంటంటే ఆ వేరియబుల్ వాట్ ఎవర్ we are displaying here for the page block table, that is the memory to hold the record, and it will display placeholder అన్నమాట. Okay, is this clear? This is very important. You may forget, that's why I'm repeating this again and again.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so standard list controller, we use the apex page block table. So this is what is the apex page block table? It is a iterative component. Iterative components mean it will iterate over a set of data, and display the values to you. Okay, similar to the page block table. And what happening when we use the page block table? When we use the page block table, it is giving us the complete styling, the labels. Okay, the format. When we use the phone, it is getting the format, right? The braces, space, everything, labels. So when we use the page block table, it is getting us the complete Salesforce standard styling. So when we don't like this styling and we want to have our own styling, okay, and we want to have our own styling and display the same set of records, then we have another tag called data table. Okay, see here, that is page block table. This is data table. Table only. This is also a table to display the data. The body of the Apex data table contains one or more column components that specifies what information should be displayed for each item of data. Okay, what information should be displayed for each item of data, and this is also have the limitation to show up to 1000 items only. Okay, so when we use the page block table, what's happening? It is getting us the standard Salesforce, but when we use the data table, I don't think it will get the standard styling for us. Okay, we'll see the example for data table. So here we are using the same data table, Instead of page block table, inside the page block we are using the data table. Okay, and here same we use the record set where leads. Okay, and we pass the record set var value to the data table value, and same we use the variable. We set the variable for data table, and using that variable we are displaying the columns. Okay, so I'll take this. I'll create another VF page. See here, for column we specified the header value, but recently here when we use the page block table, we did not specify any header value. Should be name, phone, these are the header values, right? Company leads, we did not specify it. When we put the page block table directly, it got the its labels. This field labels also it got automatically. But when we use a data table, we mention the header value, name, phone, company, we must mention. Okay, otherwise it will show null. Quick save, preview. See, did it get any styling? As you got the styling here, when you use the page block table, you got the styling. See, when you hover over, it is getting the background color also, and the spacing. See the spacings, labels, everything. Okay, because we used the page block table, that's why it got the Salesforce standard styling. But when we use the data table, see, it gave us the same. The data is same, but here we provided the labels: name, phone, company. And here we set the width to 50%, the data table width. You can increase it or decrease it. See here the width is 100%, that's why it is increased. The space is increased between these columns. Okay, so the data table means when you want your own custom stylings, when you want to apply the colors, everything, background colors, if you want to apply using the CSS, okay, you can use this data table. Okay, you want only standard styling, then go for the page block table. Okay, so but the main important part is record set var. Okay, and whatever the variable you use, you need to pass this variable to your data table or page block table. Okay, again to that particular table you need to set the variable, and you have to use that variable to display the fields, to display the field values. Okay, this is important part in the standard list controller. Okay, is this clear? Data table. Okay, the next thing we have is, the next tag we have is apex page message. Okay, page message. For example, if we have any, let's take input form. Input form nothing but like when you click new, this is the input form, right? So these are the mandatory fields. For example, if you don't give the mandatory field and if you try to save, what it will say? It will give you some message. Okay, if you want to have these kind of messages to be shown in the VF page also, if you want to show these kind of messages in VF page also, you need to use Apex page messages tag to show the error messages or warning messages, any kind of messages. You need to use Apex page message tag. Okay, so these components should be used for presenting custom messages in the page using Salesforce pattern for errors, warning, and other types of messages for a given severity. Okay, you need to use this page message tag. We'll see how to use this tag. And we have another tag called input checkbox. Okay, so rewind, go back to custom fields where you created the fields. In any object, you created the fields in employee object, candidate object, position object, you created the fields, right? There you have seen the field types, text, date, time, URL. You have seen many fields. Did you see checkbox field over there? Just try to remember.
Checkbox field, no.
Yeah,
Like we have this like creating when creating the page, then we did have like pick list, but
we
no
have the
checkbox.
pick list, multi-pick list, many fields.
Yeah,
But do we have in checkbox field? No,
no.
right? So that means the input checkbox, these does not correspond to any field in the any object. Okay, this is completely custom one we are developing on a VF page, and we will point it to some field. Okay, we will point it to some field, but this is directly, this will not point to any field because this kind of field type is not available at all in the Salesforce available data types. Okay, so here this one we use with the custom controller. Okay, this one we use mostly with a custom controller. So use this component to get user input for a controller method that does not correspond to a field, that does not correspond to a field on Salesforce object. Okay, this will not correspond to any field on the Salesforce object. We'll see the usage. Okay, see here I have standard controller opportunity and the record set where I just gave the variable name op and the tab style. This is another attribute, tab style. Okay, when I say the tab style, so what is the tab style of opportunity? I'll go to opportunity. It's yellow color, and these are all showing in the yellow color, right? The headers and all. So this is a styling of the opportunity. So this will inherited when we use the attribute tab style. When we use the this tab style attribute, it will get the opportunity tab styling. Okay, so here we are going to use the Apex form. Why we are going to use the Apex form? We want to show Apex page messages, right? So when we get the page messages, when we input something wrong or when we forget to input something, then only it will show us the page message, right? So
Yeah.
the page message will shown while doing the output? No, because while showing the output, we did not touch anything. We did not do any action like save or edit or delete. So page messages will be shown only when there is a form. Okay, when there is some kind of input. So here see, I opened the page messages and I just closed here itself. I opened the page messages and closed here itself. I did not write any attributes or anything here. Okay, inside the page block, I open and close here itself. Next page block buttons, and I have an action called save. Okay, so here I have the page block table. For this page block table, I passed my record set where. Okay, and for the record page block table variable, I'm showing opportunity name opportunity dot account dot name, opportunity related account name. Okay, and see here, when I say apex column value, which is inside the page block table, it will directly get its label. Okay, here also it will directly get the label, but I want to show some custom field, input checkbox. Okay, input checkbox op dot is private. Okay, for this kind of field is not available in the opportunity object. The field is not at all there in the object. So that's why I gave the label header value private and input checkbox value op dot is private. I'm storing the value here in this checkbox is private. This here in this field is private is a kind of string boolean field where I'm storing the input checkbox value. Okay, I close the column page block table, then this one. So we'll just see this example. Sorry, PF pages. Click new. Okay, so record set where everything is done. Input checkbox, we don't have this field at all. Okay, so that's why we gave the header value. Click save. So your code is saved, just preview. See here, it is showing all the list of records available in opportunity object. Okay, and see here the private is this is a header name we have gave private in our code. Okay, private, and is private is the value where it is going to store. So text column value, instead of column value, input Okay, I will not use the records at where, and I will not use a page block table, just for showing the apex page messages. Okay, and I'll just use standard controller opportunity page block buttons. So inside this I'll use apex page block section. So inside the section I'll use apex input field, which is opportunity name. So I'll just directly opportunity dot name. Okay, so here I'm not using any standard list controller. for showing list of records. Just I want to show you how the Apex page messages work. Click save and see the preview. Now it is showing the opportunity name input field. So this is a mandatory one. Okay, you did not, let's say you didn't provide this opportunity name and try to click save. See, now it is showing you the page message. Opportunity name, you must enter a value. For example, I'll take out this page messages tag and just take it and save. Now there is no page messages here. Okay, I'll refresh my page. And now when I try to save, I don't have any page messages to show in my code. Okay, I'll just try to save. Okay, it is showing the standard error, but is it showing any error here? No, the page message. This is a standard error from the Salesforce. Okay, because this is a mandatory field, that's why it is showing. But let's say if you have some validation rules. Okay, if you have the validation rules, then it does not show you any error message. If you don't use this Apex page messages tag. If you use this page messages tag, it will show you all kind of warning messages or error messages, validation rule error messages, or any kind of error messages. It will show you in the page here itself. Okay, is this clear? Apex page messages. You just need to use this tag, that's it. Inside the page block, you no need to write anything under this. Okay, this is about the Apex page messages. Okay, and note down some of the VF tags, okay, that we will see after we learn custom controller, because these tags we are going to use only with custom controller. Okay, please note down and remind me after we completing Apex. Okay, note down Apex repeat. This we have to use with the custom controller. Okay, Apex repeat, Apex action function. These we will learn once after we learning the custom controller. That means Apex coding. Action function,
Okay.
action,
Yeah.
action support,
Action function.
action function, then action support,
Okay.
action support, action polar, I think, action polar.
Action polar.
Yeah, action polar. Yeah. Action function, action status, action polar.
Action status.
Yeah, action status. Did you note down the action status?
No, I just have repeat, action function, action support, action polar, and action status.
Okay, that's fine. Action status. Yeah. These tags are very important, and these we will learn after we learning the Apex coding, because these are used in combination with the Visualforce and Apex code. Custom controller only. So far we use the standard controller and standard list controller, right? So we cannot use these tags with the standard controller and standard list controller. We have to use them with the custom controller only.
Okay.
And please remind me, if I forget to say this, please remind me after the Apex.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So inside in the VF code, okay, we have global variables. We can use the global variables in Visualforce expressions. Okay, what is this expression? We already studied this one. If something is inside the flower braces with after delimiter. Okay, if something is inside the flower braces after delimiter, what is that called? A merge field. You remember? Merge field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is also a Visualforce expression. This is also called a Visualforce expression. So here we have the global variables. What are the global variables? Global, nothing but the organization variables like organization name, the user name. Okay, we have to give something like global name dot field name. What is the global name?
Okay.
Global, what are the global variables? User is a global variable, Organization is a global variable. These are any objects like accounts, opportunity? No, right? These are something related to organization. So these things are called global variables, which are related to organization, not to any standard or custom objects. Okay, so here we can use these global variables also using this syntax, merge field syntax. Global name dot field name in the user object. User is our global variable name. And in the user we have the different fields like user first name, last name, username, user is active. Right? We have the fields. When we go to here, manage users, click new user. There you can see the fields, first name, last name to store the user data. Okay, these names must be API names. Whatever you use in VF or Apex, that must be API name of a object or a field. API name. Okay, not the label. You have to use API name. So these are the labels right now, whatever you are seeing. But these are the fields, first name, last name. So you should take the API name of this first name. So where you find the API name of this first name of user? Okay, you have to go here to the customize, users, fields. This is the backend of user object. Okay, here you can see the API names. These are the API names. These are the labels. These are API names. Company name, contact, division, email, sender name. These are API names. So you have to use user dot is active to get the whether the user is active or not. User dot company name. So it will get the user's company name. User dot first name. User dot last name. Okay. So where is your what is your global variable here? User. So dollar user. Okay. This is how you have to use the global variable. This is a syntax. Dollar global variable name dot its field name. Okay, this is a syntax you need to use. Okay, so here in the page block section, I'm using any output text or output label or anything. No, I'm directly using the global variables in the merge field. In the merge field, I'm directly using this global variable dollar user dot first name, dollar user dot last name. User is my user object. This is the API name of user object. Okay, and in that username is the API name of username field. Okay, I'll just take this and I'll show you. Develop Visualforce pages, click new,
Neha, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so you made your sidebar false. Okay, are you using any standard controller here to get the user
No.
data? No, because these are the global variables. You no need to use standard controller. Okay, user data. What is this? Okay, so page block, next page block section, and directly user global variables, first name, last name. You can use any fields. You can get any fields, user fields in this format. Okay, just quick save, preview. See here, this is the user first name, this is the last name, and this is the username.
Okay.
User first name, last name, and username. Okay, if you want to align them like one by one after like below the user first name and last name, you want to display username, you have to use a tag called BR. Are you aware of this tag?
Mm,
This is BR.
yeah, break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
break,
line break.
line break, exactly. So when you use this one, the username, the whatever you are seeing, it will come below to it. Okay, just click save and preview. So now see, here it is down to the user first name and last name. Okay,
Oh,
so you can similarly you can write any kind of text like user first name is this. Okay, and after this you can put a break. Last name is this. Then you can put a break, and then you can write user name is this. Okay, quick save. Now see the formatting. First name, last name, username as you formatted in your code. It is showing. Okay, is this clear? Global variables. For global variables, you don't need
yeah.
to use any standard controller. You have to use the dollar before the
Okay.
global variable, and you have to use that in the merge field format. Okay,
Yes.
the next thing we have is conditional rendering. Conditional rendering. So what is rendering? Generally the meaning of render. Render means the general meaning to get something, to show something, right? So here we have another feature in Visualforce which is called conditional rendering. Okay, see here, it is supported by uh, most of the Visualforce component. It is supported by most of the Visualforce components. What are the components? Nothing but the tags. Tags are nothing but the components. Components nothing but the tags. Okay, like page, output
Okay.
text, or input field, input text. Okay, so these render tag, sorry,
Mhm.
render attribute is supported by most of the VF components. Okay, these rendered attribute must be equal to true or false. Okay, it should be must be equal to true or false. Okay, for example, if we want to show the output text value, output, okay, if we want to show the output text and value, we put hello contact dot first name. Okay, let's say we take the standard controller contact. Okay, in that standard controller we want to display the contact first name. So when we want to display the contact first name, only if the contact first name is not null. That means the contact first name must be some value here in the contact object. Then only we want to display that field value. Okay, so here I'll go to the new. I have two, first name and last name. So I want to display this first name field on Visualforce page only if this is not blank. If this is blank, this field is completely not displayed on the VF page. Okay, for example, I'll create a page. Visualforce page. Click new. Contact rendering. Okay, here I'll take standard controller, apex page, standard controller, contact, so now I want to display output field. Okay, output field value. So what is the value? Merge field format, contact dot first name, right? So I have to use the API name of the first name field. So I don't know that, so I have to copy from here. API name of the first name. So where it is, first name. Oh, think I have to use that without space. First name. So it is not case sensitive. If you give capitals, small letters, it will take. But there should not be space. First name. Next you should apex output field value. Last name. So now here in the output field component itself, you have another attribute which is rendered, and it is of type Boolean. Boolean means true or false. Boolean means true or false. This is one of the data type, like string. String means it will allow you to enter characters. Date means it will allow you to enter date. Number means it will allow you to enter only numbers. So similarly, for true or false, we use the data type Boolean. Okay. So the rendered will accept true or false. So rendered. So when it should render? When the first name is not blank. Okay. So for this,
Mm.
we use the not is blank. These functions we already see in the formula fields, right? The similar one we have to use in the merge field format. Not is blank we have seen,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So
Yes, yes.
open the merge field format. Okay. Now open your not. Not is
Mm.
opened and closed. Inside that not, open is blank function. Is blank. Open. Close. So inside the is blank, which should not be blank? The contact first name.
And first name is.
Okay. The contact first name you have to take similarly from here itself.
Okay. Here, is this a different syntax? Here,
Rendered.
yeah.
Which syntax?
No, it was, just go back. There was a code on a different page.
This one?
Yeah, here it says hello, then
Yeah,
contact first name,
yeah,
middle
you can
name.
include the hello, everything because it's output text, right? In the output text, you can
Yeah.
include this hello, but I'm using output field here.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Output text means you can output any kind of text which is of your wish, because output text does not correspond to any field in the Salesforce. But output field means it will
Yeah.
correspond to a field in the Salesforce which will get its styling. Okay, we'll see that
Okay.
also. Okay. So here
Oh,
output field we are rendering only when the first name is not blank. So did you understand this? Not is blank. This is a function
yeah.
used in the
Yeah.
rendered. Okay. So this first contact dot first name will render only if the first name is not blank for the provided ID, provided contact ID. To see the output, we provide the ID, right?
Yes.
Preview. Okay, see here, we did not provided any ID. Okay, that's why it did not render. It doesn't know. That's why it did not rendered. Okay, let's say I'll take this particular contact ID. Okay, here in the page parameters, question mark ID equals to. So now our contact have the first name John. That's why it provided the first name John. Earlier, it doesn't know to render. It does not render the first name because the first name is blank while loading. Okay, let's say for example, for this contact only, I'll remove the first name John. Okay, only I have the last name. Click OK. Save. And now refresh your page to see the output. See, now it rendered only last name because the first name is null. For the provided contact, for this provided contact, the first name is null. That's why it did not render that field at all. Okay.
Yeah.
So similarly, we can
Yes.
use output text as you said, or apex output text. Output text value. So here in the value, we'll write our own value because it does not correspond to any field. Hello. So we have to use the merge field format to refer a field. First name field we are going to refer. Contact dot first name. Okay. And these output text, these will render only when we'll have the same rendered formula. Only if it is not blank, then only it will render the value. Okay. Quick save. Okay. Now refresh your page. Your code is saved. Okay, it did not render any output field or output text because they are conditionally rendering only if the contact first name is not blank. So I'll go back to this contact and I'll edit his first name and save this record and refresh your page again just to see the output. See here, it rendered your output field. This is output field with a label, space, styling and everything, and this is the output text which you provided. Hello John. Output text, and it is also rendered when the first name is not blank. Okay, is this clear? Rendering, conditional rendering? Yeah. Okay, great. We become 40% Salesforce developers. Cheers. So when we learn the Apex, we'll become complete Salesforce developer. Now we become at least 40%. 40 to 50 I can say. 50% Salesforce developers. We know the rendering, conditional rendering, everything. Tags, how to use the standard controller, standard list controller. Okay. Okay, functions we have. These functions and some of the functions form like expressions and conditional expressions. Conditional expressions like using the if conditions. Okay. Similarly to the rendering, how to use the if condition. So this also we'll see. And next one is static resources. How to use the static resources in So once we are done with this, we are done with the VF pages, and we are left with the tags which you note down: Apex repeat, action function, action status, action polar, action. What was that?
Status.
Yeah, action status.
Action
And
status. Yeah.
Repeat.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Repeat, action function, action support, action pool.
Yeah. Action support. Yeah. Only that tags and these functions and static resources we'll see in the morning class. Like that will be your evening, which will be like my
the
morning.
regular time.
Yeah, regular time. And what else? Yeah, here we have seen the conditional rendering, right? We have another attribute called re-render. Please note down that one also, re-render. Another attribute called re-render.
Okay.
That attribute also we can see only with the custom coding. When we we can
Oh,
use that only with the Apex coding. So
mm,
at that time we'll see that conditional re-rendering.
okay.
So and also it's better if you learn the HTML, basic HTML
Mm,
and CSS.
yeah, sure.
Basic HTML and CSS. CSS nothing but how to apply the styles like coloring.
Mm,
I think yesterday we have
okay.
seen, I think, the coloring, how to apply the coloring. That is nothing but the
Yeah,
CSS.
styling.
Yeah, stylings.
Yeah.
CSS, you know the full form of CSS? Cascading style sheets. Okay, the style sheet. Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot to tell one more thing. Yeah, here, whenever we develop any standard pages, we are using the standard Salesforce styling, right? We are using the standard
Yes.
Salesforce writing styling. So if we don't want to apply the standard Salesforce styling, we have another attribute called in the page itself. For this complete page, we are not going to apply the standard Salesforce styling. So that attribute is standard style sheets. So see, the standard style sheet is also boolean. Boolean nothing but true or false. So
Yes.
standard style
Okay.
sheet we can make false. That means it is not going to use the standard styles of the Salesforce. We have to apply our own styles. It will not get you any styles here if we use this. Quick save and see the preview. It will not get you any standard Salesforce styles like font sizes, font, all those things.
Okay.
Font formats, everything it will not get you if you make the standard style sheet false.
So everything we have to provide
Yeah,
while
everything we have to
writing the code.
write by our own.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the attribute. Sidebar, you remember, right? Sidebar, show header.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is about the VF. Tomorrow we'll complete this VF and
Mhm.
only that
Okay.
some tags are left that we'll see after Apex
Yeah.
coding.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye. Good night.
Okay. Good night.